Hey guys! We are back with the Sizzle, the show that talks about K-culture, K-pop music, dramas, and we mix it together with some good old-fashioned social issues. So today we're going to talk about the drama Extraordinary Attorney Woo. So this is a global phenomenon right now because this show is #1 trending in Korea, and I've heard also in the world, certain countries. And it's gone to the point where the US has actually contacted ENA, or the production company that created the show, for a remake.
Wow. Is it going to be like on Netflix, or is it going to be like...
I don't know yet. They haven't said anything. So this past week, there were some American production companies that reached out to ENA, and they offered to buy the rights to this drama. Wow. And if you guys don't know about this drama, which...
I have no idea.
she hasn't gotten a chance to watch it, but I am an adamant fan of this drama because I feel like, if you guys didn't watch the last video, Equal Rights, and this drama has everything to do with equal rights in terms of workplace. Because the lawyer, the main person, Woo Young-woo, has autism. And autism, I think, in the dramas, is a spectrum. So it can go very, it's very diverse. So if you guys also didn't read the article on how she became her character, make sure you guys check that one out down below, because I kind of break down the Korean interview on how she came up with her character, and it's very interesting because she took from different autistic people and trending autistic traits that are kind of I guess what a lot of autistic people have, and she used it to create her own character. And it's, what's interesting is one of the episodes she represents an autistic person. So you can see the contrast between the different types and severity of autism in the show. So
I'm really interested to see if autistic people were consulted to make the show. Like, I know she pulled from different people, but did they help write the show? Or because you can have really high functioning autism, so
yes.
Maybe the writer themselves is autistic. I really want to know how did this show become the way that it is. I'm really interested.
That's why this show is #1, I think, is because she, obviously the actress is not autistic, but she did a lot of research, and she and obviously the way she acts, it's pretty convincing that she does have it. So that's why I think this show is #1. We did have a topic about equality in terms of disability in Korea is also a big issue, and make sure you guys check out that article, because the Korean Herald did a piece and documentary on disabled people in Korea with equal rights.
It's very difficult for them in Korea, because I feel like a lot of Koreans, when someone breaks away from the norm, they don't know how to deal with it. Because I feel like it's not really a big part of the culture to be to address it head on. It's kind of something that we just kind of move past, if that makes sense. It's kind of a cultural thing. I don't see it as rude, because as I'm part of the breakaway.
What year did you come to Korea?
2016.
2016. I came 2014. So, we came around the same time, and a lot has changed in Korea since then. It's been almost 9 years.
Yeah.
For me. So, and 7 years, or
for me,
6-7 years for you. What did you think about the disability options here in Korea compared to where we're from, which is the U.S.?
I feel like there's a lot of options, even with the subway and everything, there's a lot of accommodations made.
Yes.
But it's to a point. They have done so much, and then if someone asks, can you do a little bit more, they're like, no. And so it's what happened in America, we have the ADA laws, which protect disabled people, but I don't know how Korea's laws here work. And I knew a couple months ago they had a big protest in the subway. They blocked the subway with all of the wheelchairs because they were saying it wasn't accessible enough. In America, some subways are not accessible at all, so it's really interesting to see them fight for that here even more and really push back to get what they want.
When I was studying my MBA here in Korea, one of the case studies that we went over was disabilities. And Korea is doing a good job in trying to accommodate them a little bit more. But if you've ever been to Korea and you've been taking the subway system, you might notice that the elevators are pretty far apart. Usually there's one on each side of the station and then there's one in the middle, which means that if you're disabled and you're taking the subway, you have to be at the ends of the subway, which is pretty far. It's a pretty long, train. So it's very inconvenient for them to, roll into the subway. And another thing they have to deal with is also discrimination from the passengers on the subway.
They block the disabled part with their bags or just standing there, and then it's really hard for people to kind of maneuver in. So it's I see where the stress is and the complaints.
Yeah, and especially the buses is a huge thing. In America, most of our buses have the kneeling buses with the ramps. So
the buses here don't kneel?
Not all of them.
Wow.
So I think they're starting to change it, so a lot more the newer ones are. But if you've ever been to Seoul, you know that many of the buses are old and they don't have any ramps. And what's funny is that even though they have the handicap section of the bus to, tie down the wheelchairs, people get irritated when there is a disabled person. It's not like the US where people are
it happens so often.
Yeah, because it happens a lot more often. And I in Korea, you don't really see too many handicapped people around because I think they feel inconvenience to the public, so they don't want to do that.
Yeah, public transportation.
Right, they have their own. There's these little vans, minivans that come and pick them up. It's kind of like a taxi for disabled people, but you have to pay extra, and it's still it's still not. I'm sure the government probably subsidizes like a lot of it, but it's still not the same because you're treating them differently than
having accommodations is not always equality.
Yes.
Sometimes there's going to be difference in care, and it's all about balancing that out.
That's a good point. Let us know what you guys think about that, because Korea tends to do things too extreme.
Right.
They do things like, if they're gonna do something, they're gonna go all out and do it. But at the same time, on the other side of it, it's like a lot of people get neglected, or something is not right, or it doesn't. There's always something, right? So this is one of those issues that is sensitive, and there are a lot of Korean people that are supportive, of course, about this. It's not just like they're becoming a lot more educated, and they understand that there needs to be ramps everywhere, because Korea is a very old country, so a lot of the buildings don't have ramps at all, and these stairs aren't even like, even for regular people. Like,
it's hard for me to walk. Exactly. So I don't know how they can get by. Like there was a 1 square in front of my house I tripped over every day because I saw it coming, and I don't know, but it's so uneven. My foot hit it every time.
Yeah. So but the great thing is, in Korea, that all the new buildings, anything new, it's all handicap accessible. So they're doing an amazing job in adapting. It's just that there's so many buildings
that are old.
That are old, and it's hard to for the government to keep up with so many projects. But one thing that they've been doing a lot better is definitely the buses. Yeah. All the new buses have kneeling technology. And people nowadays, I feel, are really open-minded here. So especially the younger people. So, being disabled here isn't as bad as, let's say 20 years ago.
20 years ago, yeah. I think they've come a long way, and
it's
good to recognize that, but we can always, push them to come
yes.
more.
So let us know down in the comments below, what do you guys think about this situation in Korea? And let us know if you are disabled, then how would you go about doing this? Would you still come to Korea if you hear about all these troubles that not only like physically doing something, but getting some stares, or it might make you uncomfortable.
Mental disability too, that people might not always see, but when they interact with you, like, do you feel uncomfortable if you would be put on the spot?
And make sure you guys check out the drama Extraordinary Attorney Woo. She's like, it's #1. And if it's #1 in your country, let us know what country you're from and what do you guys think about the drama. And make sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next video.
Yeah.
안녕.